Shalom, Mashpaka. I'm going to start today with reading the Bible, and then I'll get inside of the historical message that I'm going to bring today. I'm going to thank those who will come hereafter. I'm going to thank those if you are here listening right now. I'm not going to prolong this. I'm going to go ahead and get into this. And if the family come in, then I'll give the salutes when they come in. Alright. Psalms chapter 45. To the chief musician upon Shoshanim, for the sons of Korah, Machir, a psalm of love. My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made, touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer. Thou art fairer than the children of men. Grace is poured into thy lips. Therefore Elohim has blessed you forever. Gird your sword upon your thigh, O most mighty, with thy glory, and thy majesty. In thy majesty ride prosperously because of truth, and meekness, and righteousness. And thy right hand shall teach thee terrible things. Thine arrows are sharp in the heart of the king's enemy, whereby the people fall under you. Your throne, O Elohim, is forever and ever. Your scepter of your kingdom is a right scepter. You love righteousness and hate wickedness. Therefore Elohim, Elayah, hath anointed you with the oil of gladness above your fellows. All your garments smell of myrrh and aloes and cassia out of the ivory palaces, whereby they have made thee glad. King's daughters were among thy honorable women. Upon thy right hand did stand the queen and gold of Africa. That's what it say. Ophir is Africa. Hearken, O daughter, and consider and incline your ear. Forget also your own people and your father's house. So shall the king greatly desire your beauty, for he is Yahweh, and worship thou him. And the daughter of Tyre shall be there with a gift. Even the rich among the people shall entreat your favor. The king's daughter is all glorious within. Her clothing is of wrought gold. She shall be brought unto the king in raiment of needlework. The virgins, her companions that follow her, she shall be brought unto you. With gladness and rejoicing shall she be brought. They shall enter into the king's palace. Instead of thy fathers shall be thy children, whom thou mayest make princes in all the earth. I will make your name to be remembered in all generations. Therefore shall the people praise you forever and ever. Amen. Amen. All right, fam. Now let me show you something that I found for the Mashpaka. Okay. Let me make sure I'm on the right page. I found something for y'all, fam. All right, I'm on the right page. Here we go. Can y'all see that? Not yet. Y'all see that? Alright, let me go ahead and start my message. Really, it's a historical message or healing message for our people. Seminole origins. Now I'm going to read it as they got it. I'm not going to deviate from it. All right, I'm going to read it as they got it. And then I have something I want to show y'all. All right, so let me go in here and make sure my audio is right so that y'all are here when that part come up. Okay, look like it's cool. It's set, all set. All right, so let me go ahead and go in here. Matter of fact, let me let the mother introduce y'all.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Everybody is welcome here. If you're Seminole, you're welcome. If you're Bakra, you're welcome. Everybody's welcome and God bless your soul. My name is Bertha Faye Benson. My parents' name was George Faye. In Spanish, his name was Simon Alvarez. And my mother name was Viola Mariscal, and they from Mexico, and they were Seminole Indian descendants. My daddy was born in Mexico, and my mother was born in Martin, Texas. And my family been come from Mexico, Nacimiento, Coahuila, Mexico. A small town, small little village outside the town of Musquis, Coahuila, Mexico. Every summer, my family been go to Nacimiento, the little ranch at the foot of the hills. My grandmama been can keep the ranch up. It been have cattle them. It been had goat them and pigs and chicken, and it been had goat them. In the afternoons when we've been there, we've been always quiet, always calm, quiet, and in the evening, my daddy and my brothers would pack up the truck and get their hot them and then gone in the truck. We don't know where they went. And then when they come back, them had the truck full of cane, full of corn. We call it rosinea. And my daddy would fix the fire and fix up the sticks, start the fire and roast the corn, roast the rosinea. And I've been liking it so much. I've been sitting right by my daddy's side, and I watch and I help and now that I'm grown, I know how to cook good corn. I know how to roast the corn, real good. Other times, my daddy been bring the truck full of cane, long stick them the cane, and we peel them and we cut the lip because it's sharp, you have to be careful. And we peel and we learn how. After we cut up our lip, after we cut up our fingers, and we learn how to peel them careful, how to peel them, how to chew it, eat them, chew it and spit it out. Other times, sometimes, they've been kill a bull, a calf. And all the people that live around the villages, they come visit. There was so many, I never even know that they've been lived there. They come, and where they come from, where they live. I never knew there were so many villagers. And they come, they help, they cut, they dry them to make dry meat. And my daddy even get to boil them and lay them out over there and kill the bull. And after they've been finished, the other bull, them, the big old Brahma bull with the big hump on the back, they come, they smell around there. And I don't know why, but then they start to fight. They come back, they back up, and they run into each other. I was a little bitty girl. And I remember I was so scared, but I had to see. I was up against the fence just to watch. I've been to watch. And I remember really good. My daddy been come to the kitchen door, and they been yelling at me, get away from the fence. The bull gonna come and crush you. Well, I didn't know. Remember, Daddy been saying, so I back up a little bit, back up. The minute I back up, big Brahma bull come rolling, hit the fence where I was. Woo, Lordy, I was okay. I was good. Here I am in Mexico in the little village. We nobody had washing machine and no. My mama and my auntie, my Aunt Alice, when I pack up all the clothes and lay the sheet out on the ground and put all the clothes. 7 children we had. 7 children my mama had. And it folded up, tied up, put the big old thing up in the truck, and we go on to the Indian Creek. And that's where my mama been wash the clothes, in the Indian Creek. My mama been make the fire for the clothes that she boiled. She boiled the clothes, the white ones, and she been scrub it on the scrubbing board in the water. And my mama, they rinse in the water and hung up the clothes. They have been hanging the clothes up in the tree, up on the fence. And me and my brother, we've been the little ones of the family. And we play all day in the water, waiting for the water to get warm, but it never get warm. That water was cold. Spring water. And when we've been bringing a watermelon. The watermelon was hot because the sun been hot. So we get the watermelon, put them in the water, because the water been cold. And the water, make the watermelon go. We wait a while. For me and my brother, it was too long while. But wait a while, and then we cut the watermelon. It was good and cool.
Okay, fam, that was one of our sisters. I'm going to read the history of our people. All right, fam? So that was one of our sisters. I wanted to show y'all that this right here is not made up. This is a true thing. And I'm going to read this. They have some on the other side as well. Don't worry, I'll share this information with you. This is circa 1776. I think that's circa, that's what that means, CA. 1776 AD. It's during the time of slavery, and this is a general map of the southern British colonies. Okay. And let me go ahead and read this. Seminole origin. The Creek Indians spoke the Muskogee language and lived in part of what are now Alabama. Listen, family. The Creek Indians spoke the Muskogee language and lived in part of what are now Alabama, Georgia. Their territory extended about as far south as modern Florida, Georgia border. By the mid-1700s, some Creeks began to migrate into Florida. They became known as the Seminoles, meaning those that camp at a distance, In the Muskogee language, to the Espanol, to Spanish, they were known as Cimarrons, Morons, Maroons, Maranas, or runaways. The two terms merged and became Seminoles. Seminoles. Okay, so you see how that go? Manolas. Let me go back up. So those that camp at a distance in the Muscogee language to the Spanish, they were known as Maranas, runaways. To the two terms merged became Seminole in the English language by the late 1700s. So that's who are the Seminoles, and that's where they come from. We're going to get into where the Seminoles came from before they came to America. But let's look at this. Now, this is the map right here of Florida, Espanol, Florida, Spanish Florida, okay? Spanish Florida. A change by the British, and then America took it over, and now it's Florida, okay? A general map of the southern British colony. I'm still saying southern. I listened to the sister talking, and I'm starting to see I talk like, okay, I never noticed. But a general map of the southern British colonies, I just say southern, 1776. Seminole towns, the settlement called Coscahuila was the largest Seminole town in the mid-1700s. It was located on the Alcoa Savannah. See, Alcoa Savannah, and there is a savannah. I won't say where I stay, but I know there is a savannah in Florida, and there is a savannah in Georgia, because at that time we were connected. Okay, Georgia. Let's go back up so y'all can see. The Creek Indians spoke Muscogee language and lived in parts of what are now Alabama, where my grandmama from, Grandmama Cat, and Georgia. I got family out there, and the territory extended about as far as South Florida. I got family in Florida too. Okay. Seminole towns. The settlement called Coscahuila was the largest Seminole town in the mid-1700s. It was located on the Alcoa Savannah near modern-day Gainesville. Gainesville, Florida. The Alcoa Seminoles herded thousands of cattle and wet prairies and grasslands. In addition to herding cattle, Seminoles planted fields of corn. Who did John Smith come bothering? Fields of corn, beans, and squash. Now I know that y'all done ate beans and squash. And if you haven't, okay. Many of Florida current place names such as Tallahassee, which is Arabic, Tallahassee, Okeechobee, where Lake Okeechobee at. I've been there to Lake Okeechobee. I've been to Tallahassee. Come from the Muscogee language. So look at this, come from the Muscogee language. And this is Arabic, family, and Okeechobee. And they have Gullah. It means kinfolk. And Gullah comes from Hebrew, family, with the Nakud on it. So Tallahassee is Arabic, and Okeechobee, you can look up this information. And Okeechobee come from the same people, come from the Muskogee language. There's a place called Muskogee Creek as well. And Indian town residents of a chief, a Sar, or some say Shar, a chief, Shar, some say Sar, chief, 1835, and the people of Kham said Nagadia, Nagusi, and in our ancient language, Nagadia. It means the chief captain, but when you say the chief king, higher rank is Shar. The Shar means head, Shar, captain. Like Shana is teeth, Shar, Ra on the end, Shar. The Ra on the end is head, Shar, head chief. Head chief. So we didn't know all this time. What was we reading in our Bible? Shar, Shana, Shar. Seminoles, towns with modern houses, with wooden houses. My grandmama had a wooden house on both sides. Granddaddy and grandma had wooden house, and they had the legs underneath the house. And then they moved the leg and put bricks. Seminole towns with wooden houses, ceremonial ball fields, where they play ball at, livestock, animals, and small-scale farming were found. Small-scale farming were found near rivers. My mother, I showed y'all a picture of my mother and my daddy. Did y'all see that? You got woolly hair? My daddy is a very dark Seminole. My mother is like the mother here. Like the sister right there. That's my mother's complexion right here. And I shared her on a playlist I made. My mother, her favorite group is her favorite singing group. What's the name of that group? Not the Temptations. That's my daddy's favorite group. He liked the Temptations. But my mother's favorite group was the Manhattans. Okay, that's her favorite group. And her new husband that she with now, he I don't know, he's from the islands. Okay? He's the same complexion as my mama. Okay? Screens in southern Georgia and northern and central Florida in the late 1700s and early 1800s. Black Seminoles, which was also called by the Spanish Negro Seminolas. They still call them that today. And there's a place in Mexico where some of our people had went. And look, I'm going to show you this now. Slaves escaped from southern plantations, joined the Seminoles in Florida. So this is where we come in at. This is where the people that come in with the woolly hair. This is where we come in at. Now the other tribes, they probably had woolly hair back then, but there was a mixture that started to happen with the tribes. And that's what I was trying to cover on the broadcast before. There was a mixture that started to happen with the tribes between the slave master. Well, slave masters, and they was the one paid $5. But let's go. Slaves escaped from the southern plantation. They left from Georgia, remember? Joined the Seminoles in Florida. Georgia, Alabama, they left. Joined the Seminoles in Florida. And those were people who also came down there, Muskogee, they came down there, remember, in Florida. To historians, they became known as Black Seminoles or Seminole Maroons. I want you to highlight these words right here. Black Seminole is the same people. Black Seminole and Seminole Maroons. So we see here, Abraham, interpreter, and war leader. Image, okay? Abraham escaped slavery in Pensacola, Florida, and joined the Seminoles. The interpreter, Pensacola, Florida. He escaped out. He interpreted and provided counsel for Micanopy during the Second Seminole War. Okay? He provided counsel for Micanopy during the Second Seminole War. Negro, like I told y'all, Negro Abraham. So they used to call us Negro Abraham. That's when they say Black Seminoles or Seminoles Maroons. When they said black, they were saying Negro. That's why every person that's in America that was brought on slave ships that came from the same father and same mother at the conception of us being a nation. When they brought us, when the Spanish people brought us over here, they were calling us Negroes. Right there, because Negro means black. And that's why in Latin, when the Latinos, the Latin people, the Italians, had a colony on us when we was in our home country, they was calling us niggas, because in Latin, niggas means the same thing that it means in Spanish. In Spain, it means Negro, but with a created language. Now, in this century, we say black, but some still retain to say Negro, and some still call themselves Seminoles. But these lands, these countries, is where we were brought to. These are landmarkers so that we can know who we are as a people. And look at this Negro right here. He's a Seminole. Who did he look like? Look at his lips. Look at his hair. All right, let's look at here. John Horse, interpreter and war leader. So John Horse, interpreter and war leader. He didn't pay no $5. Look at his braids in his head, plaits in his head, and he got 2 feathers. So John Horse, interpreter and war leader. So I reckon that the war leader will have 2 feathers in his head. And you have a language interpreter, and they have the garment on their head. So I reckon that he was sort of say, you could say, like a Kahan or something. And there you go. John Horse right here got 2 feathers in his head. Right here. And there go, you see the canoe? So they knew how to build boats, mashpaka. John Horse was also known as Gopher John. And I didn't know if this was us or not. I remember seeing little stuff like this when I was growing up, and I didn't know what this really was about. This is 1842. And I always thought he looked like a grasshopper, a hopper grass. What I used to think when I was little, a hopper grass when I was growing up. It was right there in front of us, but could not picture it being us. I don't know, it's a strange thing that you couldn't picture this being us. All right, the people that was brought over here on the ships. John Horse was also known as Gopher John. Gopher John. Okay, in Florida there's gopher turtles. Gopher germ. And so if you ever heard gopher, it's two things you could think about. There's a gopher turtle, a land turtle that almost went extinct because a lot of people was eating them, and the alligator, the Florida gator, because people was hunting gators. And if the gators almost went extinct, that's a lot of alligator bait that it took to make them almost go extinct. He provided counsel for Osceola, for Oscolia during the Second Seminole War, and led Negro Seminoles into battle. Who is these Seminoles people? And I'm telling you, they say that these soldiers right here, boy, I'm telling you, when y'all got to read about our ancestors when they was fighting, they wasn't no pushover. Ain't nobody have to teach them how to row no boat. They learn this, like the sisters say, they learn it from growing up. All right. The first Seminole War, here we go. The first Seminole War, the U.S. Army fought a series of wars against Seminoles. And when we say ha in Hebrew is ha, because ha is feminine. It's a feminine to make a, and it also could be used for the masculine as well. But when you say ha can be used as a feminine. That's why some use the ku to say hey. All right. The U.S. Army fought a series of wars against the Seminoles. Conflict. So the hey will help you remember that it is for the masculine, and the ha, without putting the hey on it, will show you that, okay, so that is so you can know what you're talking about, I reckon. Some people say it's so this can keep the language how it's supposed to be, but it fluctuates and changes because ha can be like a plural. But anyway, let me keep on going. It could be a feminine plural. The U.S. Army fought a series of wars against the Seminoles. Conflict increased near Georgia, Florida border in 1816. So they was out and they were trying to come in. You get that? 1816. So after the slaves left the plantation to go and fight with the Muskogee Creek that came down earlier. They came down earlier time, and I can go back up there if y'all were willing. They came down earlier time. Muskogee Creek people that escaped and came down earlier time. Then you got the other brother and sister that came down. All right. Secretary of War John C. Calhoun ordered General, but look, matter of fact, I kind of like got it because it's kind of hard. It's kind of twisted on how it's being said, because one minute people say, oh, we all the same, and then the next minute, no, we are not all the same. So there was some that slept with the slave master, and there was some that didn't sleep with the slave master from the indigenous people that was over here already. And then there was some that was brought over here that the slave master made it against the law for the men to sleep with them. But they made laws to lay down with our women without her consent and make mulattoes and all different type of babies with her. But anyway, this became known as the First Seminole War. With Jackson invasion, So some of us got the last name Jackson. With Jackson invasion, my mother maiden name is Jackson. Her father name was Tyrone Jackson. I don't know my grandfather's side of the family well. I know I probably met 2 or 3 of my cousins, CJ, and another brother that played the piano at a church where we used to go to do choir union, stuff like that. With Jackson invasion, Spain recognized that they were losing control of Florida. Spain, the Spanish people, recognized that it was losing control of Florida. To who? Okay, so we're going to show you who these people is that were losing control of Florida to. With Jackson invasion, Spain recognized that they were losing control of Florida in 1819. Spain agreed to sell the territory to the United States. So did the Seminoles sell? So if Spain had the power to sell, then who were the Seminoles? Who was these ones that was the unfortunate ones that had bit the brunt of them selling, of Spain selling it? And how did they get Spanish? Where did the Spanish people go? So let's look here. Spain agreed to sell the territory to the United States. The transfer became official in 1821. Andrew Jackson, 1815. Andrew Jackson led an invasion. Y'all see that? Andrew Jackson led an invasion of Spanish Florida in 1818. This conflict became known as the First Seminole War. Some Creek Indians were allied with Jackson and participating in raids on Seminole and Black Seminole settlements. So you see there was a separation. Seminole and Black Seminole settlements. There was a separation from the two. It was two. A separation from the two. One sold, the other one didn't have the power to sell. All right. And if they had the power, what can they do? So you see, they say this is the Muskogee right here. Now, I'm not going to tell you that this don't look like no Spanish person, because he clearly does. Okay? He clearly does. So you will have to figure out, how did this settlement start? And if you would go back up to the beginning of this and read it carefully, you may see how this settlement started. But I could go to the 1500s where this settlement got set up. So the Indian Removal Act. Now, listen to this. The U.S. government felt they needed to separate American and Seminole towns in Florida. The U.S. government felt they needed to separate American and Seminole towns in Florida. In 1823, Seminole and American leaders met at Camp Moultrie. Some Seminoles agreed to move to land in Central Florida. Many opposed to the terms of the treaty. In 1830, Congress passed the Indian Removal Act, so it wasn't really about what you want to do. They just gave you the illusion that it was what you want to do. So they came with their nice papers and they wonderful speech, and they offer, they say, according to what they say, in 1830, because if they would have honored either side of whatever they was going to say, then they would have said, okay, well then, Seminoles, then we won't impose on this right here. We're going to leave y'all alone then. So let's see what happened. Congress passed the Indian Removal Act. It required Native Americans, which means you were born in Florida, or if you're a native Georgia, you're born in Georgia. Native Alabama, you're born in Alabama. It is required Native Americans to leave the southeast and migrate west of Mississippi River and migrate west of the Mississippi River. Each tribe, which was 2 people, the black ones and the other ones, the Negro ones and the other ones. So when they say each tribe, sometimes we think about a whole bunch of people. Nobody knew the difference. One tribe over here, the other tribe over here. Each tribe of those 2 had leaders, had interpreters, okay? Migrated west of Mississippi River. Mississippi River. Each tribe negotiated a separate treaty. Most Seminoles strongly opposed removal. And remember, Mississippi is Arabic word. Each tribe negotiated a separate treaty. Most Seminoles strongly opposed the removal. Look how they treat people in Mississippi right now. Was it a fair exchange? Okay. Osceola, a Seminole warrior and leader. Y'all see that? Osceola fought against removal during the Second Seminole War. General Thomas Sidney Jessup, pretended that he wanted to negotiate a truce, as I said. But if I say it, the media will just say, oh, that's not what it says. So I'm glad that the writer wrote it down in here to accommodate me saying it, because some people think that Negroes don't have the right to speak. And whatever they say, it could be discounted because it's a Negro speaking it. And some of us done had that beat so far into our brain until we don't like to believe something when one of our people finds something and say something to us. And so when a white person give you validation, a lot of people feel like, well, that's sufficient evidence, even though they're saying the same thing. And the other person probably went in deeper detail, but the details is only to get them to believe something that they still wrestling with. Anyway, pretending that he wanted to negotiate a truce, like I said, instead he captured Osceola. The American public considered this a violation of the rules of war. Hey, a Negro said it. Hopefully the white person will say it, and then people will start listening. Osceola went to prison in St. Augustine. So we see this here. Osceola fought against removal during the second, and guess who went to prison? Did the slave master go to prison, or did he go to prison? Later, he was removed to South Carolina. He died in prison on January 30th, 1838. Then he died in prison. Note the inaccuracy of the teepees shown in the background. Seminoles in Osceola live in log cabins, not in teepees. And thatched roof structures, later known as chickees. Second Seminole War. The Treaty of Seminole Removal was known as the Treaty of Payne's Landing. The Seminoles did not intend to abide by the agreement forced upon them. But someone say, no, it was not forced upon you. You know, get over it. Grace, 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 love, forgiveness, hope, peace. You don't believe in this. You're just evil. You're on your way to the lake, buddy. Okay. On December 28, 1835, Major Francis Dade led troops north from Fort Brooke along the Fort King Road. Suddenly, Seminole warriors ambushed Dade and his men. Now, when you see this on TV, when you see gun smoke, and when you see the different westerns, you see all these, they call them savages and all type of stuff, and pesky, and now scalp one, and this, you know what I'm saying? We would call them all that, but we wasn't seeing it in a right lens. Like, that was, a lot of times, that wasn't the higher pigmentation skin people fighting all the time, but it was the people of lower, and I mean all the way down to, some of them looked like there was a tire skin complexion that was fighting. But in the movies, you never seen that back then when we was watching the TV. Within a few hours, but look here, within a few hours, all but 3 of the 110 American troops, 110 American troops lay dead. Within a few hours, all but 3 of the 110 American troops lay dead. Now they may say, well, they didn't have guns back then. They was fighting with bows and arrows. Let's look. What's that painted right now? And their houses looked like modern wood houses today, like a cabin would look today. Okay. On December 28, 1835, Major Francis Dade led troops north from Fort Brooke along the Fort King Road. Suddenly, Seminole warriors ambushed Dade and his men. Within a few hours, all but 3 of the 110 American troops lay dead. This event was known as the Dade Massacre. So a person that was trying to get their land back, that's called a Dade Massacre. Y'all see how that flip? Or Dade Battle. This one would sound more, But like they say, the one that win get to write the story. But who won this battle right here? Dade Battle. It ignited the Second Seminole War, the longest and costliest Indian war in the United States history. So what did we learn here today, class? Seminole origins. The Creek Indians spoke of the Muskogee language and lived in part of what are now Alabama and Georgia. Their territory extended about as far south as the modern Florida-Georgia border. So the Muskogee and the Seminoles is not the same. The Seminoles and the Muskogee are not the same. So what connects them together? By the mid-1700s, some Creek began migrating into Florida. They became known as Seminoles, meaning those that camp at a distance in the Muskogee language. So this was those that camp at a distance in the Muskogee language. To the Spanish, they were known as Cimarrones, the Maroons, or runaways. So who was the runaway slaves, family? The Muskogee. So let's go back up here. The Creek Indians spoke the Muskogee language and lived in parts of what are now Alabama. Hold on, I'll be right back. All right, fam, shalom. I had to take that call. My wifey had called to check on me to see how I was doing. And but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and look up the 1500s again. For anybody that has that wasn't here the last time when I did that, I'm gonna go ahead and look up the 1500s. So let's go here. And that is a Seminole right there. So, Black Americans in 1500s. Matter of fact, Spain. All right, so this is the 1560 Spain, years in Spain, 1492. So let's look that up. The 15th century. Let's see that. All right, around this time. Wikipedia does not have article, exact name. Please search for Spain in Wikipedia. So I'm gonna find that real quick. Spain, 14. Portugal divided the newly discovered lands right here. So here's the treaty right here of Spain and Portugal. These is where the Spanish people came from. All right, the treaty, all right. whatever. Spain, on the 7th of June, 1494, it ratified in Setúbal, Portugal, divided the newly discovered lands outside Europe between the Kingdom of Portugal and the Crown Castle Meridian, Cape Verde Islands of the west coast of Africa was a colony of Portuguese Empire from the initial settlement of the Cape Verde Islands in 1492 until the independence of the Cape Verde in 1975. Some of y'all was born before that was done. Of the west coast of Africa. So, well, on the west coast of Africa, the line of demarcation was about halfway between Cape Verde, already Portuguese, and the islands visited by Christopher Columbus. Christopher Columbus was an Italian explorer and navigator from the Republic of Genoa who completed 4 Spanish-based voyages across the Atlantic Ocean, sponsored by the Catholic monarchs, by the Catholic Church, opening the way for the widespread European exploration and colonization of America. How did they do it? All of those ships started to come through there. So we see what is going on here. So after Christopher Columbus pretended like he discovered land, the indigenous people could not take the sicknesses, which shows you the difference in DNA. I showed you in the other thing the difference in DNA. All right. So we see here that Spain and Portugal brought over a group of people from the west coast of Africa that was expelled out of Spain. I showed you in other videos, these people were expelled out of Spain, and they had a name that you find written in the Bible. He is the 4th son of Jacob. That's the name of the son, the 4th son of Yaquaba. That was the name that they called these people during that time. All right. Treaty of Zaragoza signed on. Oh, and Pastor Kelly just put out a video. I think that y'all should go and look at that, because some of us don't want to look at stuff that's not, if it don't say Christian on it, and if it has any other thing on it, we don't want to look at it. But a lot of us say we don't believe in religion. All right, but we'll go and pick up other books. As long we'll go and pick up all these different religious books, we'll read what a person that was a slave master wrote. We'll sing Amazing Grace, how sweet it sounds. That a slave catcher wrote on the slave ship, saying he got amazing grace. But we will not pick up that book that we know in English start with a Q. We won't pick up anything that's regarding to that book that start with a Q. But we'll pick up that book inside the church and sing Amazing Grace. Some of us are saying that Bad Boy song. Do you know the origin of Bad Boys, Bad Boys? What you gonna do when that show came out? Do you know the origin of that? Some of us are sheriff, or how to be a police from this group of people that was brought over here on slave ships. Some of us want to be a police, and we will study the police handbook. Do you know the origin of how all of that started? So how come we can't look into information that we don't want to look in, because we know a history is behind that, but we don't even know that. A lot of us just go by feelings about word of mouth. Read it for yourself, family, and you will see what I'm talking about. All right. So I showed y'all this is what we're dealing with here. I'm gonna show y'all some more pages. And who does he look like? Hola, ¿cómo estás? Right? ¿Cómo se llama? What's your name? ¿Cómo se llama? Chief Tallahassee. All right. So let's go back here. And who is this? Abraham, interpreter and war leader. Okay. John Horsch, interpreter and war leader. And who is Andrew? Led an invasion of Spanish Florida. And where these guys came from? They fled off the plantation. Who was they helping? Spanish Florida. Seminoles. So what happened to the indigenous people when they first came over here? That's what I want y'all to go and do y'all homework on. Look, there's a real picture in the 1900s of El Negroes and Spanish people. And okay. ¿Cómo se llama? What's your name? ¿Cómo se llama, Nina? All right. So I'm finna leave it right there. And I want to say shalom to those who came and listened. And until next time, please don't forget to like and share. I just wanted to do a little brief reading on the Seminoles. Shalom.
More fire, more heat.
Woe unto you false leaders, you false teachers.
More fire, more heat.
Woe unto you false leaders, you false teachers inside of the Christian church, who ignore the tears of your people, who see your people crying in the street and begging for liberty and freedom, in a place where they gotta hate each other in order to love this nation. Whoa, both tears, time heals all wounds, all things get better if you just hold on. They say real men don't cry, but that's hard to do when you're looking at your homeboys die. The block on fire and the bootstraps miss. Reading out the Bible, but some preachers won't listen. If I love my family, then I hate oppressive laws. So many companies making money just when you fall down. Yes, for reparations, then they offered us a crack pack. Now can you tell me what that mean? 98 crime bill passed. Tell me if I'm crazy if I look at the sea on the dash. I got a phobia of ships, that's a blast from the past. Praying to the Father, how long will it last? Old pressure make a wise man mad. So tell me when my life is like a 3-meter dash. Ooh, I'ma tell, hop along, yeah, ooh, I'ma tell, Hashamai, yeah, ooh, I'ma tell, hop along, yeah. I was born a young captive in a place called Polk County, Florida, man. Everywhere we live is a block. Because the sins of our fathers, we political prisoners. Send a beggar, y'all to make it stop. Spiritual warfare with an outside manifestation, and we curse, debate about a blessing. We done lost our mind with our fists to the sky and screaming, God, why? Swiping, no swiping. If the law done away, then we stuck in each other forever. No redemption. But Messiah said, I ain't come to do away with the law or the prophets, but fulfill them. Yasharal said that we all sin and we all come short of the glory. Yahweh prophesied to be gullah, sent to the four corners of the nations in horror. We've been made and do it for a night, but joy comes in the morning. Barakar Tawar, Yasharal, wake up, return back to the covenant of your father. Ooh, I'ma tell, Hapalaya, how. Ooh, I'ma tell, Hashamaya, how. Ooh, I'ma tell, Hapalaya, how. Ooh, I'ma tell, Hashamaya, how. Yeah. Ooh, I'ma tell.